What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Jasper Chase here, back with another motor vlog. Today, I'm going to teach you how not to die. So, it is 6 o'clock. That means we're in the middle of rush hour in Augusta. So, this is the perfect time for me to drive around town and show you the things that I continually look out for all the time to make sure I don't die. You gotta ask yourself, what are we looking for? Well, you're gonna look for cars like that are sitting there getting ready to turn out, and you want to make sure that they're not going to turn out in front of you, cut you off, and then you end up running into them and getting into an accident. Those are the kind of things we're going to look for. I'm going to teach you some tips and tricks on how to avoid cars that really don't see you at all. And lastly, I'm going to freeze frame. There's a bee in my helmet. Holy shit! That was a bee! How did a bee get in my helmet? Oh my god, I can't believe I didn't get stung. Wow. Okay, moving on. All right, here we go. So let's talk about red lights, because we're stopping at a red light. Look at this guy in 2 lanes, taking up 2 lanes. He's got to make his mind up. But nope, he's just gonna sit there in both lanes. So you got to watch out for old people like that. I'm surprised they weren't on their cell phone. All right, so coming up right here, I'm looking at that car, that brown Camry, whatever it is. You see how the front end is kind of messed up? Those are things that you need to look out for, because they're obviously at one point in their life being stupid. So you just got to be careful. That was in the front of the car, which means more than likely they were on their cell phone, not paying attention in traffic, and then smashed into the guy in front of them. All right, so I'm looking at this guy in the blue SUV. See how I'm looking at his wheels? He was creeping up a little bit. So you just got to pay attention to that and make sure they don't jump out in front of you. All right, so we're coming up to the light. The first thing I automatically do is look in my rear view to make sure that there is no cars right on my backside. That way I know that nobody's going to hit me if I'm putting on my brakes. The other thing that I do is I make sure I continually look in my mirror to make sure that nobody flies up behind me and not paying attention and slam into the back of me. That is a very common accident to have as a motorcyclist, is people smashing into the back of you. They're just not paying attention. It doesn't make any sense at all, but it is what it is. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I can't explain these things. As I'm turning, I'm looking to the right, looking to the left, making sure nobody's going to try and get through the intersection, slam into the side of me, all that good stuff. And here's another one. Look at his wheel. He's creeping up. You got to be careful. Another thing to look at is if you can see the blinker on that side, you know which way they're turning. If there's no blinker on the side, if let's say in that situation they're on the right side, if they have a right blinker on, you can't tell. So if there's no blinker on the left side, you got to think to yourself, okay, maybe this guy is turning right. And again, these are things that just happen like super quick. Once you start practicing this, it just becomes second nature. I mean, I've been riding for 18 years, and now I don't even think about it. In one of my last videos, I described riding a bike. Basically, if you can imagine that everyone on the road is out to kill you, and you can still have fun riding a motorcycle, well, then you're good to go. You don't have to worry about anything. Okay, so we're coming up on two cars. One is turning left, the other one is turning left, both in different situations. So in that circumstance, the easiest trick, a little trick for you, is to get close behind the vehicle in front of you. Don't leave a large gap, because what's going to happen is those people are going to see a large gap and think they can get through it. But what they don't realize is that their depth perception is off, because a motorcycle is totally different from a car. So if a cager is looking at a car, it knows pretty much how fast it's going to be going, but they look at a motorcycle and they're just not used to it. So you got to think about that stuff. So a really good tip is to, when you're coming up to a busy intersection that has a green light, or you know, or it's just like what we just went through, you know, just keep an eye out for those sort of things. And as the trick, try and stay close to the back of the car in front of you. You know, another thing that you really want to make sure you do is wear gear. Now, I know, like right now, it is 94 degrees out right now. I am in a leather jacket, leather gloves, full face helmet, motorcycle boots, and jeans. So I'm sweating my balls off, don't get me wrong, but I would rather sweat than bleed. You know, I've had circumstances where I wasn't doing anything stupid. I hit a pothole and wrecked my bike. I wasn't wearing any gear and I got road rash. So, you know, it's just smart. You know, I get it. It's really hot. You don't want to wear the jacket, but just wear the jacket. Oh, see, I'm looking at that truck coming up pretty fast to the intersection. Fortunately, he did not pull out. He does have a blinker on, and he was turning right. So, again, you just got to watch out for it. All right, again, I'm looking at both cars, making sure, checking out the blinkers, looking at the wheels. The wheels tell you way more than looking at the driver, I promise you. Because it doesn't matter what the driver is doing, it matters what the car is doing. And the only way for you to tell what the car is doing is to look at the wheels. You can see if they're turning a certain way. You can see if they're creeping up or deciding to go ahead and go, or backing up. It doesn't matter what it is, but you can tell everything you need to know by looking at that wheel. All right, so here's another thing I'm looking at. This guy's blinker is on. He moved over to the middle lane, but is he going over in front of me? That's the question. Or maybe he just forgot to turn the blinker off. Those are things you've got to analyze in those little tiny seconds. It looks like his blinker is just on. I think he forgot to turn it off. So I'm going to go to the right side of the lane. I'm going to keep my eye on his wheel. Remember, I talked about the tire. You can see it curve if they're turning. And just watch him as I pass by. Once you get past the blind spot, it's a lot easier and more comfortable to continue going without worrying as much as if they're going to hit you or not. Because at that point, they're pretty much going to see you. All right, so here's another example of where you would need to be careful. So I'm passing these cars, right? Well, they may have turned into that lane not realizing that it's about to exit onto the highway. So you got to make sure, especially if you're in their blind spot, you don't want them jerking back into the left lane so that they can keep going on the merry way. So just keep that in mind as well. That's a good practice that I do. And I've had many cars realize they're in the wrong lane and jump right over in front of me, but because I was paying attention and expecting that to happen, I backed off and, you know, didn't die. Whoa. See, that's exactly what you got to watch out for. This guy had no idea that I was there and started merging into my lane. I'm glad I got something like that on camera, because, or at least I hope you saw it, because those are the things you got to watch out for. You always got to be prepared. If I had not looked to my right because I was going through an intersection, so I automatically looked right and left, I looked right and saw him coming over into my lane. Now, fortunately, he saw me at the last second and moved away. But what if he didn't? Then you're in a wreck, and your insurance company is going to hate you, and your day is just totally ruined. Let's be honest. This is not a good area. Whoa, look at that guy, not paying attention. Yep, did you see that? I hope you got it on camera. The guy drifted over into my lane, but of course I was looking, so I moved to the right just in time for him to cross over the yellow line. I couldn't see if he was on his cell phone or not, but I'm pretty sure he was. All right, you gotta watch out. See this guy coming up right here in that orange car? He was creeping a little bit. I had to watch him, make sure he wasn't gonna jump out in front of us. Alright, so I'm coming up to a stoplight, and again, I'm always checking my rear view, my side view, my mirror, whatever you want to call it. Making sure no cars are coming up. Right now we're looking pretty good, and as they come up, I hit my brake pedal and flash them a little bit, just to let them know that I'm here. Alright, now we're finally getting into some traffic. Watch this guy, watch, what is he doing? What is he doing? Alright. It's kind of weird because he had a whole lane to pull out, and he decided to take two. Now he's getting behind me. That's kind of weird. There's 3 lanes. You know, it's kind of crazy that I'm purposely putting myself in the way of danger in traffic just so I can make this stupid video. I love it though. This is going to be good. I really hope that some of these new riders watch this video and take heed to, you know, the things that you're going to deal with on a regular basis all the time. I mean, this is not staged. Everything that you see in this video is something that happens to me on a daily basis, and you just got to watch out for yourself. You know, as I said before, one good thing about being behind a car is that they kind of set the pace prospectively for people that are trying to pull out into the main road. So it's a lot safer. There's two ways you can look at it. It's safer to be behind a car. Hang on, let's see what this guy's doing. Turn. At least he's using his blinker. All right, cool. Yeah, I mean, so when it comes to lane splitting, if you're in stopped traffic, it is safer for you to split between the cars and get up to the front so you don't get rear-ended. Oh, watch out for this guy. He did use his blinker though. I'll give him that. But the other thing is that when you're just driving like this in regular traffic, then it's good to be behind a car so that, like I said, other people know when they try to pull out, you're covered, is what I'm trying to say. You don't have to worry about them pulling out in front of you because you got a car in front of you that accentuates the perspective of the person that wants to pull out in front of you. I hope I got that out right. Anyways, jeez. Alright, let's see if we can find some more people that want to kill me. Alright, so I'm going to be watchful of this guy because he's getting into a lane that ends. So, I guess, yeah, alright, they're turning good. But that's just something you got to watch out for, you know? You got to pay attention to what lanes are going where, and that one was definitely merging back into the main lane. And although the person had a blinker on, I still want to be cautious that, and just think they have no idea what they're doing and they're going to pull back out in front of me and try and hit me. So I just had that kind of mindset in that situation. Okay, so here's a situation where I don't want to be in this lane anymore. People are slowing down and turning right and keeping this flow of traffic going pretty slow. So I'm going to check to my left, check my mirrors, and get out of the way of everybody. That's the way to do it. Now I can get back in this lane because for whatever reason that dude was going super slow. And now I continue kind of like a radar, checking everywhere all the time as I'm driving forward. Alright, so look at the bus. Here we go. Now this is something you want to pay attention to as well. If, let's say, there's a car behind that bus, just as an example, maybe there's 2 or 3 cars behind it, they are stuck in that lane and can't go anywhere because there's a freaking bus in front of them. And that bus is stopped picking up people. Well, sometimes people will get they'll get antsy and want to get around the bus, and they don't pay attention or don't look hard enough to, you know, make sure that there aren't any cars coming, and then they'll end up pulling out in front of a car. And I've actually seen somebody have an accident this way, and it's just not good. It's not good. So you got to be prepared for that. Look at buses. Buses will potentially cause a lot of accidents because of how often they stop. It is hot. I mean, just nasty, humid, heat bearing down on you, just hot. Oh, what is it? 97 freaking degrees out right now. And I've got a leather jacket on, leather gloves, leather boots, jeans, and a freaking helmet. Oh my gosh. But hey, I'm doing it for you guys. I'm doing it for you. So this lane on my right is ending, and I'm looking in my mirror and I see this guy in the white SUV. I thought he was about to challenge my position and jump in front of me, but thankfully he put his blinker on and got behind me. Another thing, when I come up to traffic lights like this, obviously you want to look in your rear view or your side view. I don't know what to call those. You look in your mirrors. And like this guy in the Camaro right here, I was watching for him to jump over into my lane because obviously there's more space here and he could get ahead of other cars. So in a normal situation, it doesn't happen, but there's that, you know, that 20% chance that they're going to want to get in front of everybody and jump in front of you because they didn't see you because you're on a motorcycle. So just got to be careful. So another couple things that you want to watch out for is the condition of the car. For instance, if this guy in front of me had a busted rear end, then that tells me, one, he didn't use insurance to fix his car, so he's probably a piece of crap anyways, and he doesn't care about his car, so he's not going to drive carefully, you know. Or if you have a sports car, a younger driver, these kind of things make a big difference. And if you can continually process and analyze those situations without, oh shoot, hang on, he's late blinker, but that's okay, we got it, we're good. Jeez, all right. So yeah, looking at younger people, student driver, bumper stickers, sports cars, like I said, you know, a lot of these people, they don't drive safely. And I hate the ones with like the front end smashed, because that tells me they weren't paying attention and they were on their damn cell phone and ran into the back of somebody. And if it's a car, okay, you know, it sucks, but it's not a big deal. But if you rear end a motorcycle at 30 miles an hour, you're going to kill the guy, you know. So always stay vigilant. You know, there are so many different examples that I just can't show you because all these different things happen every single day. You just got to be prepared for it. You got to keep your eyes open. You got to constantly scan. You really got to pay attention to traffic and what they're doing, and do your best to stay safe and stay visible. But that's it, guys. Thank you so much. I hope this helps the new riders out there. Thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. You guys keep doing what you're doing. I'm out.